Alright, Shalom, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to you, Akim, that be teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and in sincerity. This is the brother Caleb from the GMS London Forecasters Camp, coming back at you with another lesson, hopefully to edify the Lord's elect. As always, I'd like to start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, these are called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because Israel as a people has been scattered amongst all people for our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18, states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. In fact, the book of Numbers in many places states that we assembled by the house of our fathers by their poles. Now this brings me on to the topic of this lesson, speaking about fathers, because every brother in this truth has certain pastimes that they enjoy. One of my pastimes that I enjoy is playing video games, and I have always enjoyed playing video games since I was very young. So on the screen here, I was thinking about something, and it just kind of clicked with me a few days ago. I thought, hang on a minute, let me do a lesson on this. Basically, so you've got on the screen here, there's this video game called Tekken. Some of you probably familiar with the game. It's a very popular fighting game. I love it, and I have loved it since 1994. This game came out, Tekken 1 came out in 1994. Now, on a surface level, you play the game, you enjoy it, you have your fun, but there's more going on in the story of this game than it might appear at a first glance. And one of the things I want to touch upon is that, as you can see, there's two characters on the screen. The main characters of the Tekken series are the Mishima family, Heihachi Mishima on the left. You've got Kazuya Mishima, his son, on the right. And then you've got Kazuya's son, Jin Kazama. Now, the Tekken games are all about the Mishima bloodline feud, where Kazuya hates his father and wants to kill him. His father hates his son and wants to kill him. And even Kazuya's son hates his father and wants to destroy him. So basically, you've got 3 generations of this family line of feuding. Now, this game has had many sequels. It came out in 1994, and now they're on Tekken 7. And there's been 7 mainline Tekken games and 2 tag tournament games. So it's 9 games spanning over, 1994, 2004, 2014, 2021. It's coming close to it's coming close to 30 years. In 2024, if we make it that far, this game series will be 30 years old. Now, here's the interesting thing. On a surface level, you think, oh, well, it's just a fighting game, people play it, they have their fun, whatever. But no, it's actually portraying something that is completely wicked. Because here you've got the son striking his father. They're engaged in this, fight to the death. And you've got the son on the right, and he's striking his father. Now, this has been the storyline of the game ever since Tekken 1. So for nearly 30 years, they've been putting this wickedness in front of people, and people have just been absorbing it, because this is my point. Everything in this world is corrupted, even the entertainment, like you think, oh, you're just listening to a song. Most of these songs are about committing adultery. And you think, okay, well, I'll watch a film. A lot of these films are about murdering and killing. Well, if you watch action films and stuff like that. Or you think, I might play a video game, where here you're playing this video game and it's showing the son striking his father, which according to the Holy Bible, according to our law, is completely forbidden. Because if a son strikes his father or his mother, according to the law, you're supposed to be put to death for that. Let me get the precept. So, it's Exodus, I believe. Let me see if I can find it. Is it Exodus? Where are we going? 21 and 5, maybe? No, that's not the one. Bear with me while I find this precept. 21:15. I was close. 21:15. Yeah, here we go. Exodus 21:15. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. So this isn't a light thing that you're watching when you're playing. Let me get back to that. This isn't a light thing. This is a sin unto death according to the law of the Bible. Now the storyline of Tekken is actually quite deep because the character on the right, Kazuya, is possessed by a demon, a devil. So therefore he's doing these things. But you know what I mean? On a surface level, if you're just superficially playing the game and watching this stuff, you're actually watching wickedness. You know what I mean? And as I say, for nearly 30 years, I guess it's what, 27-year-old game series, that the whole series has been based upon the son trying to strike and the father and the grandson trying to strike his grandfather and his father. It's the whole storyline is about that Mishima bloodline feud. So it's very interesting, and it really just clicks with me because everything is pretty much defiled, you know, unfortunately, in this world. Job 9:24 states that the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. And the fact that this wickedness is, it just goes, you know what I mean? And most people who don't know the scriptures will just look and think, oh, well, you know, it's just a game, it's just fun. Now, I'm not going to lie, I still enjoy playing the game because I love fighting games, stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, when you're cognizant of what you're actually seeing, then you realize, hang on a minute, this isn't right, this is wicked. Do you know what I mean? This isn't a light thing. As I say, it's a sin unto death. Just as much as, for example, let's say another sin unto death, committing adultery or being a sodomite. Those are sins unto death. Striking your mother or your father is also a sin unto death. So I want to go into this thing about how you should deal with your mother and your father, because the scriptures say, honour thy mother and thy father. Now, I know many of us in this truth have a difficult time when it comes to dealing with family members, because the scriptures say, and thine enemies shall be they of thine own household. So if you're in this truth, oftentimes family members are going to come against this truth. It's to be expected. But at the same time, when you're dealing with your mother and your father, you can't let their lack of understanding be an excuse for you to turn around and hate your mother and your father, or curse your mother and your father, or even strike your mother or your father, even if they're not in the truth. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the scriptures say, you know, you have to honor your mother and your father, even if they are not in the truth, because that might just be part of your test, in the sense that the Most High is going to send certain people in your way to test your faith. And maybe your father coming against you for being in this truth is just part of your cross that you have to bear. You know what I mean? You have to bear it and you have to endure it. And at the end of the day, man's goings are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own ways? So everybody here is following the script which Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has ordained for them, but you never know. As I say, it may be your test, and maybe by you successfully enduring that test, that might be something to open up a family member's eyes and think, hang on a minute, maybe what he's saying does have some validity. Maybe what he's saying does have some truth. You never know, because it's the Most High's hand isn't short that it can save, that it can't save, I should say. The Most High will have mercy on whosoever he will have mercy. So you never know, one day your mum or your father might wake up and then they might get the understanding. It's all through the spirit of the Most High. So let's jump to Ecclesiasticus, which I prefer to call Sirach, the 3rd chapter. So starting from Sirach 3:1. Hear me, your father, O children, and do thereafter, that ye may be safe. For the Lord Yahushua have given the father honour over the children, and have confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. Whoso honoureth his father maketh an atonement for his sins, and he that honoureth his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Whoso honoureth his father shall have joy of his own children, and when he maketh his prayer he shall be heard. So listen to that, man. Just simply by honouring your mother or your father, that can make your prayer be heard by the Most High. That's a very, very important thing, because when you're praying, we're praying and we hope that our prayers will be answered, but simply honouring your mother and your father will give your prayer even more chance of being heard. Verse 6. He that honoureth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto the Lord Yahushua shall be a comfort to his mother. He that feareth the Lord Yahushua will honour his father, and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. Let me read that again. It's a very important point. He that feareth the Lord Yahushua will honour his father, and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. Honour thy father and mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. Now, the blessing of the mother and father is very important, because just look at the blessing that Isaac bestowed upon Jacob. You know, I mean, that was a hell of a blessing. There's many other examples of that, you know. I'm just thinking of a few. I'm thinking of the situation where Jacob himself blessed Ephraim when he crossed his hands, because Manasseh was the elder, but the blessing went on to Ephraim. So Ephraim would be the head tribe of the northern kingdom. Again, that blessing came from Jacob, the father. Well, he was the grandfather at the time. But the blessing was to Joseph and to his seed Ephraim. Continuing on. For the blessing of the father establishes the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. Glory not in the dishonour of thy father, for thy father's dishonour is no glory unto thee. Now, a lot of Jake, they'll have love for their mother, but they'll curse out their dad. Like, I'm thinking of a great example, you know, Tupac, the rapper Tupac. He sung that song, Dear Mama, and he was like, you know, had no love for my father because the coward wasn't there, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's that effeminate, you know, mama's boy spirit. You got to get out of that. Even if your father wasn't around when you're growing up, if you find out where he is, you still have to honour the man. Even if he is going off, even if he's a wicked nigger in the world, that's still your father. You still have to give that man honour. And a blessing, Lord willing, will come upon you for doing so. You know, so it says, glory not in the dishonour of thy father, for thy father's dishonour is no glory unto thee. For the glory of the man is from the honour of his father, and a mother in dishonour is a reproach unto the children. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. Now, I remember some time ago, maybe a few years back, Apostle Gabar was doing a video, a lesson going into his relationship with his father, and how important it was that he made peace with his father. So we should follow that example from the elders, because the elders and apostles of Great Millstone are the visual examples we can see of how to conduct ourselves within this truth. So if you've got a father and if his understanding fails, you know, he might not understand the deep things of the scripture. Like, I'm going to give an example. My father, you know, my father, when I was very young, as a child, I mean, I'm talking about from ages, you won't believe me when I say this, but from like ages 2, 3, 4 upwards, my dad was teaching me about things that other kids weren't even considering. Like, for example, I was born in the 1980s, so it's before the internet age, and from a very early age, like, as I say, 4, 5, 6, my dad was schooling me on Freemasons, you know, and secret societies and stuff like that, stuff which, you know, not many people knew about back then, because there was no internet, there was no, the truth hadn't been proliferated through the earth like that. But my dad's knowledge on some of the satanic things that were going on in the society, he was putting me up on game from a very young age. And that really resonated with my spirit, because I was always someone who was very, even as a child, I was very serious. And I was like, there's more to this world than meets the eye, as they say. And I was always interested in the deep things, the things that most people weren't even considering. Like, most people were living life on a superficial level, but I was thinking about the things that were going on behind the scenes in the darkness, you know, the wickedness. Now, back then, my dad was teaching me this stuff from a very, it wasn't only a very slight spiritual perspective, because my dad, although he believes in the Most High and stuff, he doesn't understand the full intricacies of the Bible, because the understanding hasn't been given unto him. But I, thankfully, the Most High giving the understanding unto me, so now I can talk to my dad, I can break things down, say, hey dad, what you're saying is true, but the Bible says X, Y, and Z, and this is why this is happening, and this is why that's happening. Now, my dad, he has tried. I mean, I've tried to encourage him to read the Bible, but unfortunately, that's not his lot. So he doesn't understand deep breakdowns. If I sit down and I tell him, he'll listen. He's not going to scoff at the word and stuff like that. But there's times when he'll contact me and he'll be saying X, Y, and Z. And I say, but Dad, according to the Bible, that's not true. And his understanding fails because the scriptures say faith is a gift. Now, I can't turn around and they say to my dad, oh, Dad, you're such an idiot. Why didn't you understand this about the Bible? Why didn't you understand that about the Bible? I can't say that because at the end of the day, faith is a gift and it's given from the Most High. The understanding of the Bible is a gift and it's given from the Most High. So it's not a case that my dad is wicked. Well, we're all wicked. We've all our righteousness is filthy rags. But my point is that you can't will yourself to be in this thing. It's if the Most High is dealing with you. And if the Most High isn't dealing with somebody, that's just how it is. So I can't curse out my dad and say, oh, Dad, you're stupid, X, Y, and Z. No, I have to be patient with him because his understanding, the deep understanding hasn't been given to him. So therefore, I have to be patient and bear with him because that's how you're supposed to deal with your mother and your father. You're supposed to bear with them. Let me get it here. My son, verse 12, Sirach 3 and 12. My son, help thy father in his age and grieve him not as long as he liveth. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. Let me read that again, because that sums up the point I was making. Verse 13. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten, and instead of sins it shall be added to build thee up. In the day of thine affliction it shall be remembered, thy sins also shall melt away as the ice in the fair warm weather. He that forsaketh his father is as a blasphemer, and he that angereth his mother is cursed of the Most High. My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so thou shalt be beloved of him that is approved. The greater thou art, the more thou humble thyself, and thou shalt find favour with the Lord Yahushua. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. For the power of the Lord Yahushua is great, and he is honoured of the lowly. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. Without eyes thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge therefore that thou hast not. A stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last, and he that loveth danger shall perish therein. An obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrows, and the wicked man shall heap sin upon sin. In the punishment of the proud there is no remedy, for the plant of wickedness hath taken root in him. The heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. Water will quench a flaming fire, and the alms maketh an atonement for sins. And he that requiteth good turns is mindful of that which may come hereafter, and when he falleth he shall find a stay. So going back to the main thing of this lesson, honour thy mother and thy father, because the law states that whosoever smiteth, meaning to strike, if you punch your mother or you punch your father, that is a sin unto death. And this society doesn't really teach this, because you've got situations where children are beating up parents and all this kind of shit. That's wickedness, man. That's wickedness. And this is the great example of the things being turned upside down, because Esau is the wicked and he encourages that stuff. Now most children are disobedient to parents. Children don't have respect for elders for the most part in this society. These children are lawless and wicked for the most part. And guess what? Playing games like this, which shows, son striking father or mother, only normalizes these types of things. Now, am I saying that anybody who plays this game is wicked? No. All I'm saying is that be mindful of what you consume, because the music you listen to, the films you watch, the stuff on TV, all of it is defiled. As I said, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So like, let me get Job 28 in it. That's calling me. Let me see what it says. No, that's not what I want. Is it Jeremiah 28:8? No, that is the scripture. That is the right thing I was thinking, but it doesn't link to what I was saying. It just jumped into my head for some reason. But yeah, the point is that yeah, I'm not saying you're wicked if you do these things, but just do it with a spiritual mind. Know that what you're seeing is not right, and therefore you have a spiritual defense against it. Meditating on the law of the Lord is the best way to stay spiritual. So, just be mindful of what you're watching, and don't look at it with like you're asleep, which is what most of the world do. They move as if they're asleep, so therefore they've got no spiritual defense against certain things. But with that, Lord willing, it's been a quick edifying lesson, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that rule well, and shalom to your Akim that be teaching and pushing this word in faith and truth and in sincerity. And until the next lesson, Lord willing, I'll say shalom.